All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday and welcome to another episode of the Career Files. As always, my name is Justin Thomas, aka the Job Father, bringing you over 15 years of experience as an executive recruiter and a career coach that gets you the offer that you can't refuse. Today, I have a very special guest. Our topic today is transforming AI prompts for scroll stopping images for your LinkedIn post. And I have a great co-host and guest today by the name of Crystal Jones. And I'll just let Crystal introduce herself. So thank you so much for being here, Crystal. Why don't you tell everybody a little
Sure.
bit about yourself?
So I am a 15 plus year experienced project manager, working in a number of industries, including medtech, pharmaceuticals, and entertainment. And thank you for having me today.
Of course. Listen, the reason I brought you on board today is because, I've been seeing all of your LinkedIn posts and I've just noticed that your imaging is so on point. It does stop the scroll as I'm going through. It gets me very interested. So I know that you said you created some different prompts and different ways to get AI to help you. So that's why we have you today. And I'm just so excited. I know you mentioned you have a PowerPoint. Are you ready to
I
share that yet?
do. Hang on and let me share that because it is easier to go through this when I hold on. Um, it won't let me share this unless. All right, hold on. Plan B.
No worries. You should be able, it's almost like Teams or Google. You should see a share screen button.
It will not let me share unless it won't let me share something local. So I have to go to my Google Drive and grab this. So
Got you.
I have to share
Got you.
from there. So home.
No worries. People understand.
All right, we're gonna try this.
And while she's getting that together, my lovely co-founder Netta is doing some things today where she's a little busy taking care of herself. We always say our community is about rising together with Unfeathered, and today she's taking some time to make sure she can rise in her life, personally and professionally. But we miss you, Netta. Hope all is well. If you're able to join before we end today, come on in and hop in. Everybody, please send love our way by liking and following our page on LinkedIn and on Twitter at Unfeathered Community, where the theme is We Rise Together.
All right. So I got it. Now let
Okay.
me just pull this up. So this was a
Let me.
whole journey for me, creating these images. And so I needed to put this in. Can you see my screen?
I will in a second. I'm adding it here. There we go.
Okay. And let me see if I go in slideshow mode. Can you still see my screen? Sometimes that doesn't
Yeah.
work. Excellent.
Yes, we can.
So
Yes, we can.
I'm
You should be able to see and just for everybody at home, Chris, this is Crystal's first time on our platform, so please just bear
here
with
with
us.
me.
Uh, So, Krista, you should be on your side. You should be able to see what everybody else is seeing. So, you should see the screen that you're sharing with your image and my image in the bottom right hand corner. Is that what you're seeing?
I believe so. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Excellent. This is great. Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I'll let you lead the show. I may interrupt you from
Oh
time to
no,
time.
I expected you would, and this is meant to be interactive. It wasn't meant to be me blah blah blah. But I want to first start out by saying this was a journey for me. I'm in no way an expert on any of this. I have learned as I went along. So I'm this is just getting better for me, but it has been a learning journey as well. But it's been good because as a PM, I've always been agile forward as a project manager. So agile is iterative, and this has been an iterative process. So it's just like software development. You build it, you test it, you tweak it, you try it again, you build it, you test it. Sometimes you start over because you realize the direction you're going isn't the direction you want to be in. And so there was all of that in this process, but it's been fun. So I'm calling this from bias to balance my AI image evolution.
Okay. I love it. I
So,
love it.
and
I
so
love it.
it's
And guys, if you see me looking to my right, I have it on my bigger screen so I can follow along.
okay.
Didn't think I wasn't paying attention, but if you see me looking to another way, I'm just looking at the bigger screen so I
No
can follow along.
worries. No worries. So I'm calling it a case study in iterative prompt engineering because I realized as I was going through, initially I'm just trying to make images to go with my LinkedIn post because I'm not a graphic artist. But
Okay.
I realized it's become sort of a case study in prompt engineering, and for creating inclusive visual representation because I had heard that there's bias in AI, but I didn't realize it till I started to use it and realize,
Mhm.
oh, some of the assumptions it makes. So, I post about, I started out 5 times a week, but now I'm down to 3 times a week. And so I post a lot about, PMO leadership and AI automation and project management. And I needed professional images that represented me authentically. So this presentation kind of journals my journey from frustration to framework. And so it took about 6 iterations, and I'm not done yet because in an iterative process you're not done, there's always room for improvement. But I'm down to iteration 6 of my journey. So, and here's the twist, because I've had people ask, how did you learn to do this? So plot twist, I used
Mhm.
AI to help me build my AI prompts. So yeah,
Awesome. So you
I
used
use
AI as the tool it is and not as a crutch, right? You used it as the
correct.
true tool to move us forward as it is.
Correct. And that's why it kills me when people say, AI makes people stupid. It's like AI makes you smarter. In fact, AI makes you think. You have to think. You cannot just go up to Chat GPT and say, make me an image, because that's what I found out in this journey, that you can't do that. So yeah, I used Chat GPT, Gemini, and ultimately Claude as my prompt engineering partners to help me through this entire journey. And so
Okay, hold on. Hold
I
on one
started out,
second.
yeah.
Sorry, before you get too deep in there, my co-founder Netta Safadi just joined, so I want to take a second to recognize her.
Hi,
Hi, Netta.
Netta.
Netta, this is Crystal.
Hi, nice to
Hi,
meet you, Crystal. Hi,
nice to meet
everyone.
you.
I joined last minute. Thank you so much for offering to. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm glad I'm able to make it. Thank you so
I'm
much for
glad
your
you are
time today.
too.
Thank
No,
you
no
very much.
worries.
All right, sorry, Crystal. Go ahead. Go
Please
ahead.
keep going.
No worries. So I started out, Justin, with your Job Father GPT. So I actually, the initial iterations of this prompt started out with that. And then I moved into Gemini and then Claude. But let me get through kind of where I got it. So initially, my early prompts were like, I'd write a LinkedIn post, and then my early prompts were like, give the LinkedIn post the whole text and say, create a professional image of an executive to go with this post. And the AI frustratingly kept creating images where it defaulted to white male subjects. And so that was when I finally realized, it's like, oh, when they talk about these biases in AI and it's training, I got to see that right away, because I'm like, why are all of these consistent? It was never even women. It was always white male subjects in all of these images. And I was like, well, okay, but it is my post and it's from my point of view. And so I need it to look, it doesn't have to be a picture of me, but it does need to look like someone who looks like me. So I needed to minimally be a Black woman. So when I specified Black woman, the results kind of swung a different way. So then all of a sudden, it was always the white male executive was still in the images, and the Black female executive was in the images, and he's pointing, she's pointing, she looks angry, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm not going to do the angry Black woman stereotype here, because it's not even me anyway.
Okay, so
So
I
I
have to
didn't,
I have to pause and ask a question then.
yeah.
So, because this is interesting, I never thought about, I've heard bias in AI, but I never, really thought too much about it because I never really had to until you. So you bring this up, and it's very interesting. So when you say that the woman was, or the Black woman in the imaging came across at first as angry, I'm asking just to ask. I'm playing devil's advocate, okay? So don't get upset. But
No,
were the posts that you were posting and trying to get the imaging for, were they disruptive? Did they cause for any reason for anybody in the imaging to look angry?
no.
Wow.
Not at all. But every single post consistently. It didn't even matter what the topic of the post was. It
Okay.
always looked like there was a white male presence and a black female presence, and they clearly looked like they were at odds with one another, like
Got you.
regularly.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I can't be. I'm not the angry black woman.
Understood. Understood. And is that
Yeah,
what
I just
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Justin. I'll add something afterwards. No, it's all
I
right.
was just going to ask, is that what this imaging is to the left? Is that the original type of kind of demeanor they were giving?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Nana.
So I was like, and everyone looked like this, except the worst ones where she had her face frowned and you've got a finger pointing at someone. I was like, oh wait, no, absolutely
Wow.
not. And it kind of looked like, that whole what we not gonna do today is. And I was like, okay, I might think that on occasion, but I don't communicate that, and definitely not at work. I was like, wow. So I was like,
I have to say something. I have to say something, and I'm so sorry for interrupting you.
No worries.
That I was wondering, like, you're very intentional, and this is the first time I'm looking at these slides, in case anyone is wondering. Two things I wanted to add. First of all, this is a lively, interactive discussion. So if anyone would like to drop a comment, please engage. If you have any questions, please drop a comment. We would love to hear from you. We are live streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X right now, as well. But Crystal, I just have to say, this really saddens me to see this level of bias. Like, I, just as Justin said, I had heard of it, but I have never really seen it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I actually made I was trying to make some visuals, not for the job search, for my mom, for a Middle Eastern, an Iranian man. And the images I got, I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
these AI systems definitely need some proper training. So
they
I'm not so
do.
surprised when I'm surprised when I see this, when you talk about like a woman executive, and this is what it gives you. It's I'm just at awe right now. I can't believe it.
And
Let's
it
keep
was
going.
consistent. It was consistent. I mean, really consistent. And so, like, the first lesson that I learned in this journey was, AI systems reflect the biases that, are present in their training data. So, without explicit direction, they tend to default to the most statistically common representatives. And when you do specify demographic characteristics, they often swing right to stereotypical representation, as you discovered, and put those right onto those subjects. So authentic representation really requires me to explicitly define personality, demeanor, emotional tone. So how did I
You
solve
were training
this?
it in the process. You were actually
I was.
training. Okay. I'm really looking forward to seeing what direction, you went with your AI image prompting. Please keep going.
So I went into what I call, or it's called, meta AI strategy. And so I had to use I had to realize early on that I didn't need to become a prompt engineer expert myself. I could use generative AI chatbots, powered by large language models, to help me construct the prompts that I needed, because I wasn't able to construct the prompts that what I was constructing as prompts wasn't getting me the results I wanted. And I realized that I needed these large language models to help me construct the language that I needed by telling them what was going wrong. So I started out with Justin's custom JobFather GPT. I eventually moved that, and I got the initial framework from that conversation. Then I moved to Gemini because I had a custom Gemini bot that I had created. And so I continued that conversation there. And then ultimately I moved to Claude, and I'll explain why Claude became the final AI partner, as it were. But I used, if you think about it, these models are built to understand and generate human-like text and answer questions and create content and perform tasks. So why not help leverage their capabilities for prompt engineering? So that's when I, kind of started, translating, helping using it to help me translate my seemingly complex requirements into structured prompts, because what I didn't need was it to generate images. I needed it to generate the prompts that I needed to get the images that I wanted. So I went through several phases. The first phase was with the JobFather GPT. Then I moved to Gemini because I had my own Google. And then I went to Claude ultimately because I really needed some advanced engineering and development that Gemini and ChatGPT just weren't able to handle, but Claude could. The interesting thing is Claude can construct the complex, to understand the complexity of what I was trying to do, give me the simple prompts that I could go back to tools like Gemini or ChatGPT or the Midjourney to create the images that I needed. So, and it works because AI assistants don't just generate prompts, they serve as collaborative partners for this iterative process. So when I encountered the angry Black woman stereotype problem, I could describe the issue to Claude or Gemini and ask, how can I modify this prompt to ensure warm, approachable facial expressions without losing professional authority? And then the AI would suggest specific language additions, explain why certain descriptors matter, and help me test some of these variations. And so this strategy really accelerated my learning curve. And so what I took away from that is using AI to build AI prompts isn't cheating. In fact, it's kind of creative. Because I remember I told somebody that and they're like, wait, you used AI to help you build AI prompts? And I'm like, I kind of felt like that moment in Legally Blonde when Elle was going to Harvard Law and she got into Harvard Law and someone said, you got into Harvard Law? And she said, why? Is that hard? And that's kind of the way I felt when someone asked me that. I was like, why, you didn't think of this? Because to me, that was the very first thing I thought of. Why not? So I've been using those tools to kind of help me build my prompts. And so that got better. And the prompts got better. So when I started adding detail.
Hold on. Let me pause you right there, Crystal.
Yeah.
Listen, everybody, and Crystal is absolutely correct. There's so many different LLMs, right? Meaning AI tools. Like she says, you got the GPTs, you got the Geminis, you got the Claude. My new favorite one is GenSpark AI, which uses all of those, right? But you can ask, for instance, especially if you're doing the video, like if you've heard of Sora, you can ask AI to give you a prompt for another AI. And it will spit it out the right way. So that's not cheating, guys. It's just being smart. It's working smarter, not harder. And I love the Legally Blonde reference because that's used to be one of my favorite.
So do I. I just wanted to also say something too. You can also upload images and you could tell it to, you could create like a mood board. That's another idea as well. You can create a mood board. So open PowerPoint or Google Slide, throw in a bunch of pictures in there, save it in PDF, upload it to the learning language model and or the generative AI.
Well, I think you're getting into her slides.
I am.
You are.
You are. I think she's going to tell you. She's going to tell you.
I'm going to tell you because this is part of the journey too. So
perfect.
I started adding detail.
We're in sync at least I know that.
Yep. So I started adding some more detail because initially it wasn't important to me that the images look like me, but they had to look representative of me. So I called them composite. So, I started adding, natural hair, approachable smile, warm brown eyes, and, this sort of fixed the demeanor. But the environment around so it got the subject better. So now it's not an angry Black woman. It's not it's not an angry Black woman with a white man, fighting. So now it's more of my personality. It was more of a composite of my personality, but the people around me weren't diverse. So it either would put me in a room full of white men or white women or Black women, and I was like, well, that's not representing what I want to. There was no diversity in the supporting cast. And so at first I kept saying, we'll make the room diverse. And AI apparently does not understand what the word diverse means. It also doesn't understand people of color, but it did understand when I explicitly said, I had to list out the the ethnicities I needed in the room to show diversity, because that's the only way it understood diversity. Because it literally does not understand when I say make the room diverse with diverse people with the diverse genders. I had to literally say males and females, Caucasian, Black, Asian professionals, and that was the only way that it understood to make the room diverse. Um, and so that's when we went into the next phase. So while I had all of these, great images that were um, representative of me, they didn't look exactly like me. They looked like women who had similar hair, similar smiles, similar skin tones. And so it was great. But when I started looking at my analytics, and I have a tool that actually runs through my LinkedIn and really does some deep analysis of my analytics. And one of the things
What's that tool called? I am so sorry for interrupting.
it's called Ligo. It's called Ligo. Ligo Social. So Ligo Social. And so Ligo does what LinkedIn's own analytics don't do. It goes several steps deeper and really looks at your post and what's landing, what's not landing as well, what you need to do more of, what you need to do less of. And one of the things that came out of one of those reports was, while my images were nice, that images of me landed better. And so I'm not going to be taking selfies all day long to put with my LinkedIn post. And I'm still not a graphic artist. So I was like, okay, how do I take this, what I'm doing? And the next level is insert me into these scenes I'm creating in these images. And so, that was kind of the next step, which brings me to the next slide. So I needed a reference image. So I started out with text-only prompts, and that was giving me generic images. But
so
then
is this the generic image? But once you got rid of the angry Black woman, this was the generic imaging that kind of.
This was the generic imaging. So this was the kind of images what you're seeing on the slide is the kind of images is producing, which was fine. It was great, but when I started looking at my analytics, and it suggested that images of myself would land better, I was like, okay, how do I take what I'm doing and insert me into this? So instead of seeing this generic woman that you're seeing in this picture, how do you put my face in here? And so that was the next iteration. So I uploaded a reference image for likeness consistency. And so that started the tool was doing better at bringing me into these scenes. So it was the same prompt with some minor tweaks to say, look at this reference image and put this person into this scene. In fact,
what tool were you actually using though to actually generate the image? Sorry, Netta.
So I started out initially with the generic images. I was using Canva. So Canva has an AI image generator, and that it did great. I did a couple of images in Gemini, but Gemini's images and ChatGPT's images were not as good as the ones I was getting from Canva. But when Google released their latest model for imaging, Nano Banana, when they released that, the images, I was getting them straight from Google because they were so good. They're
really good.
When you say Google, Gemini?
Gemini, yeah. So when Google released their new model for images, Nano Banana, that thing, the images were great. In fact, they were better than the ones I was getting out of Canva. So I started using that. I still use ChatGPT because they use DALL-E, and that was fine, but I was getting much more better consistent images out of either Canva or Google not before Nano Banana. Those images weren't good, but after Nano Banana, the images were great. So I started
I've heard a lot of great things, and I just wanted to jump in here. My good friend Jared Liu, that actually appeared in one of our lives, and we'll see if hopefully he can come back. He's an ambassador for Adobe Firefly and Freepik, and they generate phenomenal images as well. Also, don't underestimate Grok. Grok images. Like it generates really, like you give it an image and it creates a video. So there's that
Oh,
that I
wow.
wanted to say. I like the fact that you give context. And in the past, I used Midjourney for one of my friends on X who's super private. And we were kind of playing hot potato with I kind of Frankenstein his profile picture. What I'm trying to say is, and this could be applicable to what you're talking about, you can take, you could crop, like you could take the clothes that someone is wearing, you could crop their head out, and just, the same thing that you said earlier, I mentioned earlier, or creating like a document, a PowerPoint slide, you can say, okay, this is the clothes, this is the hairstyle, and you can put it all together and you could tell it to generate something for you based on that. And then you get ideas and you keep reiterating. So you can also Frankenstein your way into something,
Well, and
to
I
creating it
and I
modular way, in a modular way.
Yep, and I haven't had to do that yet because I've had some pretty good success. So I'm showing you guys. I stopped sharing the presentation really quick because this is one of the recent images that it created. And I liked it so much. Yeah, Justin, I didn't tell you, I updated my LinkedIn cover page. So I love this photo so much because my LinkedIn profile picture has always been a picture of my car. And there's always this back and forth debate about, oh, you should have your own picture in LinkedIn. And I haven't for a variety of reasons, but I like this picture so much, but I don't want to give up the picture of the car. So I decided to put it in my cover image because it just came out great. It looks just like me. And you can't see it in this version of the picture because it's tiny, but the belt is pink and the symbol on the notebook is pink because one of the flourishes that I've added to my my prompting is that pink is my signature color, and I wanted to make sure it included pink. As you can tell, pink is my signature color. But I did not want to be dressed fully in pink because I'm not trying to look like Elle McPherson from Legally Blonde. But I did want some, personal touches in my images. And so it's done a really good job of doing that.
No, I think that's amazing. And thank you so much, Jared, for your kind words. We see your comments there. Thank you so much.
So now we're moving into the next phase where I'm starting to do photo likenesses. And this is when I ran into the next sort of learning for me. So I started moving towards, wanting these images to be authentic. And so because my analytics were saying that I should move towards that. So I started uploading photo likenesses. So I had consistency and transform the project, the process. And so now this AI was generating images that look like me and not just a demographic match. So the platform matters in this. So I've been using Google Gemini and Midjourney for family content and text descriptions for my dog. Because what was interesting is that for people, you have to really be specific or give reference images. But for animals, you can almost get away, especially if your dog or cat is a specific, well-known breed. And Jasper's a cockapoo, a black cockapoo, and it worked perfect for the reference image. And it, consistently created images that looked close enough to Jasper, but it was really important for me that the images of family members, so like I was struggling with Google's Gemini to get family content. So like when I was doing my Christmas and New Year's post, I'm already working on those. I wanted to include my dog and my husband in those images, and it struggled to render both me and my husband. It got me accurately, but it kept putting a man that looked like a composite of my husband. And at first I was just going to roll with it. I was like, I am not going to post a picture of me and some other man because I'm going to get all kinds of questions from people like, who the hell is that? So I was like, I needed to find another way to do it. And so I went back to my AI partners and I asked Claude, I'm struggling with this. And so we tried tweaking the prompt to see if we can get a better rendition of my husband, but it just wasn't. I would come out consistently looking like me, and it would look like I was with some black man that looked like my husband in terms of features, but it wasn't my husband's face. And so I went back to Claude and I was like, all right, what do I need to do to get my husband to look like him in these pictures? And I uploaded some of the images that, you know, I was having trouble with. And so the image that was generated plus the reference image that I used, and Claude suggested I tried a different tool. They gave me some suggestions on a bunch of different tools, and I tried a couple of them, but I landed on Midjourney because it seemed to do perfect for family content. And
are you saying mid, like middle, Midjourney?
Yeah, Midjourney. And so Midjourney turned out, and it's a tool that's specifically for generating images and video content. And Midjourney did a fantastic job looking at my reference images and literally landing them where I needed them to be. So
It's come a long way. It's come a long way. You can even control the lighting, the style. You can control the texture of the skin, the color of the skin.
Everything. And so
like tweak little things if you don't like it.
Is that paid? Is that paid or is it?
Unfortunately, so everything up until now had been with free tools, and I've been able to get away with doing a lot of this with free tools, except for Canva. Canva's not free, but Canva's pretty inexpensive. But you need Canva Pro. So I had been getting away with free tools up until now, until I ran into this roadblock, and I just had to bite the bullet because it was important to me that if I was going to do for the Christmas and New Year's images, I really wanted to pull in, they were a little more work-life balance and personal, and less, thought leader in project management and agile. And so I needed them to, it was important to me that, just like it was important about representation, important that it looked like me, it was important that it look and represent, what my family looked like, what my husband looked like. The dog, if they got close enough to a black fluffy dog, I was good enough with that. But for my husband and me, I was really adamant that it had to look like, us, and had to look like our representative images. And then, with the backgrounds and lighting and whatever touches I wanted in the background, it was important for all of that. So Midjourney was the tool that I went to. And so hang on, I'm going to show you what some of those look like. I'm going to show you just one. Hold on and just bear with me. Oh, it won't let me share the screen.
Did you say that you combined? Sorry, I
stopped sharing altogether.
Yes, you did. I was just wondering, did you say earlier that you combined the background and other elements to create the image that you wanted using Midjourney?
Yeah. Well, so I have Claude and before that helps me construct the prompt. And the prompt is really specific, right down to what kind of environment, what kind of background, what kind of, what kind of room am I in, what kind of lighting, what style of image do I want, right down to the my personal branding of the pink accents, and very specific about making sure it's accents and don't dress me in a whole pink outfit. So all of that is in the text prompt itself. So are you seeing this image on the screen?
Yes, you're good to go.
So this is my Christmas, and this is based on a real image of me and my husband. It left him dressed the way he was and changed my clothes to match him. So you'll notice the pink accent on my sweatsuit. One of the parts of the prompt said that I was dressed in casual clothes. We're in a Christmas environment, warm lights. Our dog sits on our lap, and, it's just, he and I are snuggled up getting ready for Christmas. And this aligns with the content of the post. And this was generated by Midjourney, because when I tried to use this same prompt in, first of all, Canva didn't know what to do with these prompts at all. Canva took me and my husband and blended us into one individual. So
yeah.
It was horrible.
Wow.
I looked like we looked like cross dressers, and so it would blend us into one single image, which was a combination of. It took me a minute to realize. I was like, why are these pictures so ugly? And I was like, oh my god, this is a combination of me and KJ's face, and a little bit of the dog too. So Canva didn't seem to know what to do with these prompts. Gemini did a better job, but he always looked like some other man with the same. It would have his beard, it would have his skin tone, it would have his clothes, but it would be somebody else's face. And then it was always me. And the dog had no problem with. But Midjourney did this. And I've gotten some really consistent images out of Midjourney. What's interesting about this picture is the reference image that I used. I'm literally leaning into the frame, and he's in a position that you see him in. And this tool put us together and straightened me out and actually flipped me, because in the reference image, I'm actually on the inside of this frame.
I actually see an evolution in your where you're going as your next step. I would suggest is start tinkering with Adobe Firefly. They have an extension for Nano Banana from Google, and you can also combine. I think it's, and I believe this. I haven't tried it out yet, but I have a feeling that if you work on the images, prompt engineering of the images separately, and you bring them together using a photo editing tool like Photoshop, I think it could be easier to do this way.
Well, that's what I've kind of done. So some of the pictures, I noticed that the backgrounds were not what I wanted. And so on some of the source images, I took the original image and dropped the background out altogether with Canva, or I replaced the background with something a lot more neutral. And when I did that and used the same prompt with those same reference images with a different background, I got a much better result. So that picture that I just showed, the Christmas picture, was one of those where I did just that.
Got it.
And let me interrupt for a second. Number one, Miss Kayla Starr says she loves the content. She loves this topic. So thank you so much, Miss Scott.
Hi, Kayla.
I also, you keep sharing your screen, but I'm going to share my screen for a quick second.
Yeah, go for it.
I want to show the people. So here's Crystal's profile. This is only a week back, right? But look at her imaging. This is when she was doing the generic text only prompts, right? Which is still amazing. And if you just joined us, she used AI to get the prompts for other AI tools, mainly using Claude to get the proper kind of prompting, and going back to Gemini at first to get the imaging, as well as Canva. But then she wanted to start referencing herself. So that's where we're at now, where she started using her reference photos. And that's where we kind of get into, here we are with herself realized within the imaging in her post. All right. So I just wanted the viewers to see the kind of progress. And please go follow Crystal Jones. You will see PMP, PSM, and SSM. I'll post her link in the comments shortly. But go give her a follow if you enjoy what she's teaching us today. I just wanted you to see the journey. As you see, it does have her likeness here. You can see how it's multicultural. It's a diverse room, as she mentioned in one of her prompting, right? And she looks happy. She looks happy to be there and not angry. And everybody around her looks engaged, diverse, and happy. So I'll stop sharing. I just wanted my viewers to see the journey. I just wanted my viewers to see the journey that we've been talking on so far. There we go. And you have back control now, Crystal.
No worries. Thank you. So now we get into, I've already talked about a lot of this, so I'm going to skip a lot of this, but the biggest thing for me, the biggest takeaways was making sure that, I had I was kind of coming down to a standard in how I was doing it. So I call it my visual identity copy block. So I kind of developed a systematic framework to ensure that there was consistency across all of my copy. So it's basically a framework for the prompting, so that there was consistency in the images. So while the scenes might change, what was consistent was me. So how I was presented in these images was consistent. Now I might be put into different scenes acting, in a different way, but there were some things that were the tone was consistent, that the physical features and how my attire was consistent. The color palette, the pink accents, the lighting preferences, that there was some consistency, and that no matter what scene my image was placed in, that it was always ethnically and gender balanced, so
And that's
that
that's your
I was
brand.
yeah, because that's what I wanted to present. I wanted to present myself in diverse workspaces because I've worked in diverse workspaces and I needed to present that image. And so this is sort of the high level plan that I followed. Identifying my topics. So 3 times a week, I'll select the style that I want. This is literally what my flow is. The prompt that I worked with, that I worked to develop. So what it does is I will build my post. I will share my post with Claude, because that's what I'm using now. And Claude will then look at the post and say, okay, the prompt and instructions that it's got is there are 5 different art styles to choose. I choose the art style that I want. It's leaving out one thing. It also now asks me, is this going to be a work-life balance post, or is this a corporate, professional post? Because it depends on the topic. If it sees that it's leaning towards work-life balance or not necessarily corporate professional kind of posting, like the more personal kinds of posts, it'll then ask, do I want to feature myself and KJ, that's my husband, or me, KJ, and Jasper? So I can choose which subjects are going to be in these work-life balance pictures, if it senses that it's not a corporate post. But otherwise, it'll ask me the art style, ask me who's going to be in it, and then it generates basically the copy that it generates is my prompt that I can then use in whatever image I'm using. Claude doesn't generate images, which is why I have to go back to Google or ChatGPT or Midjourney or Canva. And so I'm bouncing back and forth between all of those tools. I'm kind of leaning more towards Google Gemini for images where it's just me as the primary subject, and Midjourney for images where it's including my dog. And although Gemini does a decent job if it's just me and the dog, but Midjourney for anything that is multi-subjects.
So,
I have
Crystal,
a question. Oh,
go ahead, Netta. Go ahead, Netta. You first.
thank you. As you're speaking, this is a little bit outside of the image generation part, but how far out do you plan your content? Because I know you can use AI to find content to talk about, but I think you and I are very alike. We're like, we probably get, at least personally, I get inspiration once a week.
And I got to write
Like,
it down
I'm in a flow.
immediately.
And I'm working on getting that happening more often. But so you plan it every week. My second question is, in terms of the ROI and the numbers, the analytics, when you have tailored images that look like you, what has been the outcome in terms of the numbers and your analytics
I
from
won't
the
know
impressions
yet.
that you're getting?
I won't know yet because that's the latest. Like literally this week is when I started that switch to that journey. So what I did was I ran a report to get my analytics for everything going through November, just to see where I was at. And Lego does, because Lego has access to your LinkedIn. By the way, Lego Social, there's other platforms that do social media management like Buffer and other. I'm trying to think of the granddaddy one, but I can't think of right now. Lego is just for LinkedIn. It doesn't do anything else. It's got one flow, one platform that it lands on, and so it had the ability to go all the way back to the beginning of my LinkedIn journey up to current. And that's where I got that large, analysis that suggested that images of me would land better. And so we just started this. And so we're going to test it. And I won't know until the end of this month what the results are.
How do you spell
We
Lego?
definitely need to do a part 2 for this live stream. And I'll see if we can bring in some other people as well to you know, add more talking points to the discussion. Already there's so much to talk about, I have to say. Please, Justin, go ahead. I'm sorry for
How do you
interrupting.
spell legal?
LIGO. And let me give you the, let me see if I can find the.
I'm trying to drop the link in here for everybody.
Oh, I'll drop the link because they're weird.
I see a
Okay,
couple.
I don't know how to, how do I chat in here? Oh, there's chat right next to my tiny picture. Okay, I opened up chat, except, oh, I can see the chat, but I can't chat. Why not?
Do you see a private chat at the bottom of your screen here?
Oh, yes. Okay,
it in
got
there.
it.
Perfect.
So I don't know how much Lego is because I actually got this tool through AppSumo. And so I caught it when it was on sale at AppSumo. And I don't know if they're going to do another AppSumo offering. But if they do, it would be well worth it. But this tool has been gold. So now I'm down to, this is where I do my posts. One of the things that's unique about Lego is that it's another AI operated partner. It can write content for you. I write my own content, but one of the things that's unique about it is that Lego requires, there's a whole onboarding process with Lego because it is looking for you to provide representative samples of your writing. It looks at your current LinkedIn. You provided writing samples because when it helps you draft, it wants to do it in your authentic voice, and it cannot do that if it doesn't know you. The only way it can do that is to get your writing style, which makes it helpful when I'm writing because it knows my writing style. It can be my writing partner to help me tweak my post if I need it. But it's a fantastic tool, but the analytics is really the reason I got it, and its scheduling capabilities. And I'm like you, Nita. I'm like, I get ideas and it's like, oh my God, I need to write this down immediately. And I've got to write a post and I've got to put it up there and schedule it because I already knew what I wanted to say for Christmas and New Year's. And so I already had those posts ready. And so they're already done. And so that's already there.
Well, listen, I gotta, before we keep going here, I see that you're, your project and program manager, dealing with PMO specifically, and this shows in your coursework here. So anybody out there, I know she's currently working, but if you want to poach her, listen, guys, go ahead and reach out. I am the Job Father. And this is Netta. Netta is the connector of all connectors. So you never know who's watching on the Twitter land or X land.
You never know.
Please reach out. Okay.
I am coachable.
You're phenomenal, Crystal. I had no idea how amazing you are. And I'm very happy that you came on board and you are preciously like dropping so many gems, like precious gems throughout this live stream. I also wanted to recommend this company. It's Just Jade. Jade AI. I know the CEO and I know the CTO. So Kimberly K. Scott and Earl Way, if you guys are watching, hello. They are phenomenal. They
nice.
they're in beta right now, so you can join, and they give you access to a plethora of different AI image video generation tools that you can use. So I would love it if you can go ahead and tinker with this tool and
I would love
give
to.
them feedback. I could
they will.
share the info.
Netta, Crystal is always talking to the developers and stuff, so she's gonna
Perfect.
she's gonna reach out.
And that's because honestly, it's because I've been working as a PM in software development for so long. When I see something, I will just reach out and say, hey, have you guys considered this for your roadmap? And then I'll give them the use case why they should consider for their roadmap. And to be honest, that's worked for several tools that I've used. They're like, oh, we didn't know this use case existed. And so had a few more conversations. The next thing I know, what I suggested is on the roadmap. So yeah, I'm always talking to the developers.
Definitely do. Emaz would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
His name is Earl. Actually, we know him as Emaz.
But
Okay.
we'll connect you with them, Crystal, offline. So just
Okay.
take the website. We'll got to get you access to the beta. Netta knows them more, so I'll go through her. But
Okay.
we'll definitely get that set up. Now, I do want to call out because we have about 15 minutes left here. We started at what, 2:30? Yeah, we have about 15 minutes left. So how much more of your slide? We can get back into your
Not
slide.
much. I'm gonna skip to some things because really we're almost at the end.
Go ahead.
So so just really quick. So bias requires intervention. These are the lessons I've learned. This is what I really wanted to get to. You really have to be more intentional when you're writing your prompts. If you want to get inclusion in your content, in your images, you're going to have to be a little more proactive and intervene in order to get the content that you want. And that's whether it's text content or images or videos or whatever. And inclusion has to be holistic. For me, it has to include everything. So it extends to, beyond just me, the environments that I'm putting myself in needs to be important. Systems beat one-offs. And so creating a framework kind of made this scalable. I actually have been working on trying to make this a repeatable process for somebody else. Right now, it's very repeatable for me. But if I wanted to give somebody else basically the secret sauce, how can I make this so it's a repeatable framework that I could, Justin would say, sell to somebody else? I'm working on that. And then, match the tool to the task. There's no one size fits all with any of this stuff. Some tools do better than others with certain things, and some tools don't do as well. I found that, like I said, my big journey in Surprise was as much as I love Google's Nano Banana, it just does not do group images very well, even with text prompts. And I've tried all kinds of different ways to tweak them, and it really just doesn't do well. But Midjourney seems to understand that. Midjourney also has the ability. So a couple of the images it generated, my husband, as you can see, has no hair. It kept wanting to put hair on his head, and they were great images except for the damn hair on his head. Like, how do I get the hair off his head? And Midjourney allows you to edit that. So I could edit it with another prompt, take the hair off of him. And one of the images I really loved that I'm going to be using for my Christmas post, my birthday post, it's perfect now because I was able to get the hair off of his head. And the reason I like the post because I love the pink halter dress it put on me. So I wanted this image. And that's really it. I mean, from frustration to framework. There we go. That's the end.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Netta, I'll let you go ahead, and I know you have some things to say.
I've been listening. I'm actually, trying to share some resources, not only with you, Crystal, but with our audience. So I mentioned the name Jared Liu earlier, and he actually tinkers with this, and he creates content on the different tools, and he experiments all the time. So I'm actually dropping that info in the comments for everyone. So I'm working on that as we speak, but this is super educational, and I would love to hear. Sorry, I'm just gonna share that here. So, sorry, let me.
And everybody, hold on.
For
Sorry,
anyone
everybody who's watching on LinkedIn, please go to in order to see all of these different links that Netta is sharing, please go to either Twitch or YouTube to actively see what we're sharing from our side. I don't believe they can see it on LinkedIn for whatever reason. And also, we just need more followers on our YouTube channel.
I'll drop it there too.
Thanks. Sorry, Netta, go ahead.
And I stalk you guys everywhere, so.
Thank you so much for your support. It means the world. But what I wanted to say is,
and I appreciate you guys having me here. This was fun. It was a lot of fun.
You're a lot of fun, Crystal. This is just amazing. This is amazing.
You are phenomenal.
And and to be honest, I was just tinkering. I was like, it started out solving one problem, and then I was like, then I got knee deep in it.
Yeah, now you're a prompt engineer. I
guess I didn't know that. It's kind of like when I became a business analyst, I didn't realize that's the work I was doing. And somebody said, how did you not know that was your title? I was like, because my actual work title was what was it? Assistant systems systems assistant systems associate or something strange. It was ASA. And someone said, "Oh, well, you know that what you're doing is you're a business analyst." And I was like, "Oh, to me, it was just work. It was Tuesday." This is what
And as the job father, this is a little off topic, but as the job father, I have to say this. I have a lot of clients out there who are worried about ageism. What Crystal just displayed today is how you beat that, because ageism is just about your mindset, right? It's, are you keeping up with the times? Crystal displayed today. If I am a hiring manager, if I had a role for her, I would definitely hire her. But the ageism thing, can she keep up, would not cross my mind after a conversation with her, because she's up to date with the new AI. She's up to date with structure, and she's likable, right? So I'm
lovable.
Yes, you are. I'm seeing a lot of things from my clients and just different people in general, job seekers online, about ageism. This is how you combat that, right? It's not about your actual age, it's about your mindset. It's about your capability to keep up with today's tools, right? So I just want to drop that little gem. Go ahead, Netta.
So I have a lot of people to connect you with, Crystal, actually. I shared Jared Lude's YouTube, the link to his YouTube channel. He's one of the people that I would really love for you to support and check out his content. And the link is on our LinkedIn, the LinkedIn live stream, and then on X. I'll put it on YouTube later. But I just wanted to say, we need a part 2 for this. If you're on board, I'll see if I can bring on, if we can have more guests that are, like, as you say, other tinkerers. And part 2 could be more, as you're doing this, we can actually see the analytics and the results as well.
Yep.
I love that.
I'm really curious to know how this has impacted, your numbers, your audience, because as you're building in public, when we had Jared here in the live stream, he was talking about his he's been building in public for like most of his life.
Right.
And people follow your story. People connect on an emotional level with you. And an image is worth 1,000 words.
Yep.
Right? Just seeing the evolution over the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh, a little bit content. The last week has been the evolution where we've now inserted me, into it.
Keep going.
Themselves. Justin, how long have I been working with you?
About a month and 3 months.
Yeah. So
almost
it's
3 months.
It's his fault.
You've come a very long way. And I would say keep it up. And we could talk behind the scenes with Justin for part 2 and to bring more people, and that could be after the New Year's. Let's see what happens, but really proud of you.
Very proud of you. And we have to clear something up. This is another part of kind of behind the scenes reason I wanted to have Crystal on. I got a lot from our friends in accountability and Hopeful Friday. So we love another group. So grateful for you guys. You guys sent me a lot of messages about a month ago when Crystal presented. She's not stealing my stuff. She's using the tool as needed. She took my tool and actually evolved it into what she needed specifically for her. So I just wanted to clear the air, guys. She wasn't being sneaky or anything. She's my ace spoon coon. She's my homie. She's my friend and a good professional colleague. And she took the AI tool that I gave her access to and did some amazing things with it. She taught me some things. So keep growing. I just wanted to clear the air because I got so many messages on the back end. All is well. She did exactly what I hope you guys are doing with my tool if you have access to it. And that's learning, growing, and utilizing other tools
and iterating it because it's a term that you hear in agile project management all the time. It's iterative, it's continuous improvement. So I didn't take Justin's tool and do anything more than I looked at Justin's tool and said, this is great, but I need to do X, Y, and Z on top of this. And I wasn't going to ask Justin to modify his tool. I only do that to people who have full-on platforms. I'll bother you and tell you things I think you need to add to your roadmap. I wasn't going to ask Justin because Justin's tool is working for him. And by the way, Justin's tool is great. I just had some additional needs that when I started using Justin's tool surfaced up for me. And I was like, well, here's your opportunity to learn this thing that they call building AI assistants, build a GPT, build a gem, And so it gave me the opportunity to teach myself how to build a gem. So what I am doing and what I did was built a tool that is not meant to replace Justin's tool. It didn't even steal Justin's tool. It took some things that I saw Justin's tool was doing, but I needed some additional things. So I built my own tool that did some of these things, but all these extra things that I needed on top of it.
Now we got to figure out how you can put that together and monetize it, because that is amazing. Once you figure it out, please let me know. I'll promote it, because that is, if you can put it make it so that all I have to do is ask it for an image and it asks me all of the different questions, like you said, it asks you.
And that's what all of these that I have built. So like my prompt now for the images is literally almost a wizard. And it takes you through and it asks you things because, like I said, when I built it, built it specifically for me, but there were some times that I needed some variance and I needed to be able to ask certain questions to get to certain outputs. So don't assume that it's always this. Ask me which one it is and then give me that and then let's go on. And I'm trying to work on, like I said, trying to turn this into something that I could, roll out to somebody else and they can, build the prompts that are specific to them.
Perfect.
Because hell, if Nita wanted to use it, she's not going to be a brown-skinned Black woman with curly hair. So she's going to need to be able to generate something that looks like her. And you're going to need something that looks like you. And so I'm working on right now behind the scenes, trying to turn this into something that is a framework I can give to anybody and they can get the same.
I wanted to say something. I studied design, and there's a philosophy by Steve Jobs. This is a quote: "Good artists copy, great artists steal." Now, just hear me out. It's all about refinement over invention, execution as innovation, aesthetics, and functionality. So at the end of the day, when we talk about steal, well, doing that, because it's not really stealing.
It's not.
You're seeking inspiration from someone else's work.
And innovating on top of that.
And you're tailoring, and you put your vision on top of it.
Yep.
So
well said.
I wanted to mention that too.
Now, Crystal, we got to get you on the X now. You're missing a lot of your audience because people on X would love you. I just gotta. I don't know if you agree with me, Netta, but I think that she would.
Yeah. Yesterday I was creating the post. I'm like, "Where's her X account?"
We gotta get you on Twitter now. I too much don't like Twitter out because all of the political stuff. But outside of that, the spaces, the audio spaces that they have, they're just without video. They're just audio.
We gotta restart those, Justin.
You gotta come on.
Yeah, I've got to get back on Twitter. My personal Twitter I barely use. So here's what I started my Twitter account for. Some food place had said if you post a picture of your food on Twitter, we'll give you a coupon. And so I was like, really? Free food? I'm in. I'm always food motivated.
Well, we could change it around. It basically can just mirror your LinkedIn profile, like the image, the headline and stuff. But I'm telling you, your energy, the knowledge that you do have, I think it will go very well with the communities. Listen, Netta is the connector. She is the connector of connectors.
I already know some foodies that I could introduce you to. I already figured it out.
She is the worldwide.
And I know someone in Atlanta that is perfect for you. Justin, you need to meet her. Her name is Rashmi.
Okay. You said Rashmi?
Rashmi Singh.
Yeah, I know Rashmi. Because she's actually started her own in-person networking group down here. I met her from Accountability Fridays.
Oh, she's phenomenal.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Crystal, you have to connect with her.
Okay. Have you seen Rashmi in Accountability Fridays,
Is
Crystal?
she a PM like me?
Yes, actually.
I know who she is. Yes, she and I did connect.
She's amazing. I hope she's watching this. She's phenomenal. I am so proud of her. If you're watching,
we need to do a one-on-one, girl. PM to
Me too. Count me in. But anyways, we are past 1 hour, by the way.
Yes, we are. Really quick before we say our last words, Netta, I was wondering, have you ever had this issue? Because you're a woman of color as well. So have you had this issue in your prompting, or have you not really gotten to that point yet?
I have been very adamant about uploading my pictures to these LLMs. I did mention that I did Frankenstein things for someone, and interesting enough, I have never seen his like a close up of his face.
Okay.
So when you talked about refinement, I had to very modularly take pictures of celebrities' faces, play hot potato with him to get to the images that we got.
Wow.
And that was a big challenge. And I developed an interest in AI image and video generation since.
Yeah.
So when you don't know what that person looks like, and you have to go looking at other people to find the inspiration, that's the real challenge. But
Yeah.
when it comes to to answer Justin's question, I just experienced it when I was creating an image for my mom
Okay.
of a Middle Eastern man, of a Persian man, and it really did not represent what Persian men look like. It was really disappointing.
Yeah. And the other thing that it does, just really quick, because I noticed this, there's an AI headshot tool that I use. The name escapes me right now, but it was interesting. It asks you to give reference images, and it asks you to give several reference images. And what it says is in different, doesn't have to be professional images, but, in different settings, different lighting, different clothing, and then it's going to use that, I assume, to composite it and, create some images. It did some interesting things. So Black women know our hair. Sometimes it's curly, sometimes it's straight, sometimes it's in braids. And because all of my representative images were all different hairstyles, the AI seemed to not know what to do with our hair. To one of the images, I'm wearing my hair like this, but I'm wearing a really colorful headband. And in one of the pictures, I had braids, and it decided to combine the two. And so what I ended up was with braids that looked like the scarf that I was wearing in one, braided into the braids, and then it had them out like this. So I called it the Black Medusa because that's what it looked like. I had a nice long
Really
talk.
need to train these AIs more.
Yes. And so especially and there's subtle things that they wouldn't know, that, Black women's hair is a whole thing. You can't just do what you did. But yeah, I kept the Black Medusa picture though, because it was real interesting.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, Crystal, I have to tell you that we've enjoyed your energy. We do something called the last word. So we'll let you go first. Do you have any final words of encouragement, tips, anything that you would like to say to the people?
Don't be afraid of AI. Lean into it. Lean hard into it. It is meant to be an assistant. If you think of it as, showcasing that you're not intelligent as a cheat, then you're missing the point. And I'm also going to say that if that's the way you view it, you've probably never used one of these tools in your life. You can't, if that's your view.
I love it. Netta, did you want to go last, or you want me to go? You want me to go last? Which one you want to do?
I'm excited to see it.
Oh, I could not hear you. Hold on. You went out. What was that?
I'm so excited for part 2 of this live stream and to see like the results. Like you got me in, like I'm in. I just want to see the evolution of your posts.
Thank you.
Really, I'm really happy for you. Congratulations. And
thank you. This has been fun.
I'm super excited to see your journey more.
Listen.
And by the way, you are beautiful. I would love to see a Facebook picture, like a profile picture on LinkedIn. But I totally respect if you don't want to. But you are.
Well, I have it on my cover image now.
I know.
We look. I gave her a hard time about that, Netta, but her reasoning is solid and sound. So we're not going to give it away in the public space. But her reasoning is sound, and she does have her face everywhere else. So, but
yeah, I do.
That car is a conversation starter.
It is.
For her level of roles.
And she just got back from the dyno, and she did 784 horsepower to the rear wheel. So if anyone is a car enthusiast, I got a badass Mustang at home.
Oh, you actually have it?
I do. That's really my car. Her name is Black Beauty. In fact, if you Google Black Beauty Mustang KJ Jones, You will find all the stories on my car, including the recent story. She just came back from the dyno yesterday.
Oh, wow. And what is the dyno? Because I am not a car person.
So the dyno is where they it's basically like putting the car in the street and putting the pedal to the metal and measuring the horsepower output. And so she does 700, what was it, 784 horsepower to the rear wheels. And that's with race gas. With pump gas, she does 500.
Okay. Well, listen, guys, today has been amazing. We took a holiday 2.5, 3 week break, but I'm glad we came back with a punch today, Crystal. I was not feeling well, but I just want you to know your energy shifted my entire well-being and made me smile more than I thought I was going to be able to, because I had a headache, just been running around, but your energy is infectious. So I look forward to having you back again.
Thank you. And I'm glad Nita was able to be here. Yay.
My plans got canceled for now. So
good.
And
well, I'm
minutes
sorry
before the live, I'm jumping.
Yeah, I'm sorry your plans got canceled, but I'm glad you were here.
I'm glad this was totally worth it.
All right. So for everybody else, we're gonna end. I can ask for Crystal and Netta to stay back for a second after we end. But for my last words, I always say, with the holiday season coming and so many of you struggling out there, when your back is against the wall, remember, if God be for you, who can be against you? If you're struggling right now, don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Remember the times that God got you through, the times that you never thought you would get through before. And that's where your joy lies. If you need anything, reach out to friends, colleagues. Don't do it alone. This is a hard time, but remember, you are worth it. You are great at what you do. It's just the job market sucks, and there's no getting around it sometimes. But you are great. You are wonderful. You are amazing. Join us next week, I believe, or stay tuned for our next live stream. Hopefully it'll be next week, but we will be posting soon. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. Anywhere else? Nope, I think that's it. YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
That's where we are on, and very soon TikTok.
And TikTok.
TikTok and Instagram, but we're focusing on those first.
Please join Unfeathered, where we rise together, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, everybody, for your time. We really appreciate your support. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And Crystal, thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you.